All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me here on At the Movies with the Jackal. And I didn't think I was going to do another show on this, but as all things happen, more and more images are coming out of this one movie. Huh? The new Superman movie. So, gotta put my hat on and get ready for it. There we go. So, more footage, videos, and pictures have come out of James Gunn's new movie, Superman, as I said, which comes out next year in 2025. And I have a bunch of new images that came out, some footage that I want to share with the audience. But before I get there, please do me a favor. I know I'm live, so please subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment on the side over here where you can see the comment section. I'll try to get to everyone's questions if you have any. Um, Once the video is done, please leave your comments below. I'm going to leave the comment section open for any future viewers. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. Please also hit your notification button. That kind of lets you know when I'm going live again. Um, Other than that, the subscription, that's very important. And if you like what I do, please follow my work over on angelespino.com, which can be found right there. And of course, my Patreon page right there. Hit them both up. My Patreon page. Please become an angel investor so I can keep doing these shows. Very important. Please join up there. $3, $5, whatever you can donate. Greatly appreciated. Now, with that said, let's go on with the footage that I have here. Like I said, I have some really cool pictures. Some that I'm kind of like goofy on, but that's because they're a little bit goofy themselves. And some live footage, which has all been leaked out now by the good folks in Ohio who are ever so vigilant, like me with my beard here, to go ahead and give us their input on what's going on in the streets of Ohio, which is doubling. I think at this point it's pretty safe to say it's either Smallville or Metropolis. Maybe a little bit of both. I don't know. We'll see. But there's a lot of footage that's dropping, a lot of new characters that we already kind of knew were in the movie. Some of that is part of the goofy stuff that I'm not really digging too much, but we'll get to that. But one really, really cool thing that I do like that they're doing here, and I do applaud James Gunn for doing this. One of the few times I'm gonna ever give him credit for anything is the leaked cameo of Reeves. William Reeves is, of course, the youngest son of Christopher Reeves, who played Superman within the 1978 movie and on for 4 movies. And it's my Superman. That's the one I grew up with. And it's probably the most iconic, well loved Superman, I think, of all of them. So, I mean, that's a very cool thing. I do think that that was a good move by the studios to allow that. I think it's also very cool that Will Reeves is doing that. Um, you don't always see those kind of nods, even though I know a lot of folks had issues with what they did with The Flash and how they, paid tribute to the Christopher Reeve movies, which was with what a lot of people consider cheesy, bad CGI. I understood why the CGI looked that way because it was kind of like in a flash moment, and he's looking across the spectrum of the multiverse or whatever. So I understood the reason and why the effects looked the way they did. Most fans didn't, and so a lot of that movie's bad buzz was because of that. Funny enough, though, James Gunn loved the Flash, right? He also loved Blue Beetle. Both movies tanked really badly. Now, The Flash, I don't think it was anybody's fault other than the star, Ezra Miller. But that's a different topic. But with that said, let's get to some of the pictures here, of the ones that just leaked out, and there's a lot of them to go through, guys. A lot of new images. Wow, I think 50 or something. New captures that I found. So I wanted to start off with the creators, of course. We have your Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, who created the Superman series. This is nothing new. We all know that they created the comic book version of Superman, and they're iconic for that, being that they created this amazing character of Superman. And get rid of Skype there. So, these two characters are basically responsible for the entire Superman franchise. So, shout outs to Joe Shuster and, of course, Jerry Siegel over here, who long ago created the Man of Steel and everything that's in it. Well, mostly everything that's in it. DC has also participated in pulling a lot of stuff within the Superman universe. So I had to start off with that. Now, this is the first image. Of course, this could be anything Superman lifting something heavy. I think I had another clips of that. What I think is going on here, I think this is something, maybe doing over water. Maybe it's a small airplane, like the door of an airplane or something like that. Maybe this is supposed to be a different perspective where he's looking up. The camera's like in a section, where we can't really see it too well, but it's picking up, like a certain shot. Where in the movie it'll make more sense. Right now, this again is just fan footage or fan images. Next picture is actor Dave Cornsweet, as you can see him about to fly off. Now, of course, people are like, well, does he actually fly in any of these things? There's a little lift off moment in a little clip that I have for video, but of course, this is just the still shots. Uh, and I don't think you're going to see him fly in maybe this particular sequence here on the streets, because he'll have to hang from wires and stuff. And I think they're doing that without the cape on, from another image I saw. Look at his face. He looks like he's ready for full flight. So I'm pretty sure, and as you can see with the arm there lifting up, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what we're getting. He's going up, up and away, as the old Superman saying would go. Next image. It looks like there's just them sending out people on the streets and looking up at the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Dave Cornswood in a baggy Superman suit. Well, it's Superman, right? So let's suspend our disbelief. But they're definitely looking up in the sky, because it might be a bird or it might be a plane. And this is an interesting image. We saw a little bit close up to this in the first videos I did. In the background, I didn't really notice till now, but you can see like toys and stuff. I mean, I noticed it, but I don't think I referenced it. But as you can see, David there in the full Clark Kent outfit with the hair muffled to the front, the glasses, the suit, as Clark Kent, Daily Reporter. And in the background, I see the Superman toys, memorabilia, and stuff, which will make sense. I mean, he's in the second year of supposedly of being Superman, so the fans will start getting like, oh, Superman, crazy. The buzz will be out of hand. Anytime somebody saw him doing something, heroic, I'm sure it'll be a big deal, right? So it makes sense to have like this kind of interest in somebody who is human looking but can do all these amazing things. So that's a interesting image, but it's a cool image nonetheless. So it's pretty neat that they did that there. Now, some people are saying that this is crypto. I don't think it's crypto, but it's still a very cool picture. of a dog. I think it might be a dog Superman is maybe rescuing or something like that. I know it's supposedly Crypto the dog is in the movie, so it could be Crypto. We don't know. I leave it to speculation, I guess, until we see more footage or see the movie itself. It could be, James Gunn's, version of Crypto. There's been a couple of different alterations in the comics and live TV of what Crypto could or could not look like. Next image. This is cool, and this is going to play more into the other images I have with Superman landing on a platform. And I'm not sure if he's on wires. I do think he might be, but I think he might be just like jumping on there. But he also could be on wires. There's other images that show him on wires, so we'll see how that goes. Just a little bit more close up to that image. And now she's definitely on wires, as you can see there on the sides. I think what we're seeing in the image before this one here, as you can see, he's grabbing onto something, right? I think in CGI, they're going to have him grabbing onto her and then putting it together, and, she's going to be like, like grabbed and like slowly, gently put down to the ground as a rescue by Superman, because part of the fan outcry against the Snyder universe was that he doesn't save enough people in the movie. Like, right, he's fighting Zod, he's doing all these things, and that's Superman-like, and that's great. But we really don't see Superman doing that many rescues of people in the movie. It's one or two. Even at Superman Returns with Brandon Routh, there was a couple of rescue scenes where he's flying through Metropolis and he picks up somebody and puts him down. So we kind of got a little bit of that, but we haven't had a whole lot of that in the movie. So I think that's something James Gunn might be going forward. We're going to see more and more Superman actually rescuing people more than just, like lifting heavy things or just fighting the evil villain, but actually making a difference. And this is why the community in Metropolis embrace him so much and love him so much, because he becomes really a savior of the people, which is, if that's the angle they're going for, I think it's really cool. Let's see, this is another building within the shooting of in Ohio. This is, I'm not sure exactly what, it's going to double for, but it could be a courthouse, it could be, something to do with Daily Planet or somewhere in Smallville. I don't know, but I just see the trucks out here, if you can see in the bottom there, and that's going to become more and more prevalent as we get in here. You see that orange containers, they explode, and there's a reason, and I have a little bit of the footage in there also where you can see them exploding. And there's another explosion shot. Now, I see the little guy in blue there. And a lot of people are like, well, is that a stand-in, maybe for something that happens? I do think that's a stand-in for where Superman is going to stand. And the canister projectiles are either going to hit him and bounce off, or it could be where they're going to CGI a person that Superman comes in and saves later, and saves from the canister hitting them or something. So it could be one of the two things. But I don't think you're gonna see a one of the blue guys just walking around like that in the actual movie. I don't think that's what James Gunn's going for. So now let's see. This is why I think it's Superman, because see how it hits him in the head, and the blue guy obviously is some sort of statue or something. Maybe they're doing it to like have it bounce a certain way, and they'll CGI him out later. And I don't know. I'm not too sure on how the technical aspect of that's going to go. But either way, it does seem like there's something cool happening there, which they're going to just CGI over later. Let's see. Another blue guy in the streets. You see the canisters pre-explosion there. I guess this is where they are going over what's going to happen with the exploding canisters. And there's another shot of the canister and our blue friend there, just chilling. This is why I don't think it's a person, because that's a hard posture or you know, way to kneel down for a long period of time. I don't care if you're on some kind of like padding. It can't be easy to like just sit there or stand or kneel there for that long, unless you're doing it in the NFL. Colin Kaepernick. And this is water, or maybe this is to add to the explosion. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a rainy day in Metropolis, and they're putting water all over the place. Maybe they're doing it because it's so hot in Ohio, and they're like want to cool everybody off. Not sure, but we'll get more to that. This is the actual canister explosions again. This is Superman landing on that platform that he's flying into earlier. Looking back with his hair all like, you know, winded and goofy. This is people again looking up in the sky, checking out. Hey, is that Superman? I'm not sure. This is that woman that Superman I think is gonna rescue, and they're gonna just do the CGI later for it. Now, people have asked, is this Superman in the black Superman suit? I don't think it is. I think what they're doing here is they had him put something over. Maybe just to shield him because, you know, from the environment. I'm not sure if it was too warm that day or something. And, you know, putting him in all black, that helps, right? But they do have him walking around with an umbrella on. So maybe this is some kind of a way to cool him down, which would be kind of weird because it's an all black, you know, thing that he's wearing over. But you do see the red boots on the bottom there, and so I'm not too sure if this is going to be anything else significant. Like some people are saying, it could be a bad guy Superman, maybe a you know going back even to like Bizarro Superman or something like that. I don't think so. Or the black suit Superman, which again I don't think it is. But here we go, more people standing around. These are extras, obviously, and they're probably waiting for the cue to say, "Look up at the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane!" No, it's that guy in blue and red with the trunks. Yeah, Superman, that guy. And let's see, next image again, corn sweat. There you go. See his hand is going through that black robe. You can see the red boot, and you can kind of see on his wrist there, like the blue from the actual suit. So again, this is why I don't think this is exactly what people think it is. I think this is more just them shielding him from like the environment. Maybe so people don't get too much walking footage of him in the suit. Who knows? The trucks taking the canisters again. This is him running from the explosion of the canisters. You can see them laying on the ground. This is David in, of course, Cleveland, Ohio. Shout outs to Cleveland. Cleveland, who is again doubling for Metropolis, maybe parts of Smallville. Who knows how much shooting they're doing there. But this is what I was talking about, him in the umbrella. We're going to see that in live action in a little bit here also. Now this diner is very interesting because you can see there's a lot of people dining outside. And I think this is where the canister explosions start happening. And Superman goes to the rescue. Maybe it starts off with him as Clark Kent just enjoying a burger. And he has to kind of like run off to save the day, and changes to Superman and starts saving people. You know, that could be part of it. I know the script has leaked. Supposedly, I remember I went back a long time ago in the first video, and I talked about my encounter with Superman Returns, Dan Harris, and the leaking of that script. So I'm tempted to read this one. At the same time, I've kind of learned that lesson all this time later, and I'm a little bit hesitant to do that. So I'm not too sure I'm going to go down that route or not. I might. If I do, fantastic. If I don't, well, you know, again, I'm trying to stay as spoiler free as possible. For the reason I'm doing these images is because they are interesting. Some of them I don't like, and I'm gonna get to a lot of the ones I really don't like, as well as ones that I do like. Because there's some cool stuff that Gunn is doing here, and you gotta you kind of have to give credit where credit is due sometimes, even if you don't like the filmmaker. And I'm not a big fan of James Gunn's work, but I will give credit enough for credit is due. And I do think some of the stuff he's done has been so far acceptable, while not exactly up to the modernization of what we know from like the Snyder universe or whatever. Now I have a question here from Lex Ayers. Thank you for joining the show, by the way, Lex. He wants to know, do I believe that we're getting a second Superman suit? I think so. Yes, I do think we're going to get a second suit. I think it's going to happen. Probably not too different from the one we have Superman suit now, the one we've seen in action. But more maybe towards the end of the movie, where he kind of like revamps his powers a little bit. I think because there's a big thing going on now where they're saying, well, he's probably going to lose all his powers at some point, and that's part of like why some of the images are showing him in a baggy outfit, and that's part of like what they're doing on purpose. I'm not sure if I buy that. I think that was just a bad image that James Gunn went with, and now the fans are trying to explain away why it was that bad. Whether that's the case or not, I'm not, saying. That's just my personal opinion. But I do think since from the looks of some of the images, we will have a battle-tested Superman, and the suit will get dirty. I do think they're going to show a different suit at some point. Would it look exactly the same? Maybe they just washed this one. I don't know. But I think towards the end of the movie, there might be a good chance that we see kind of a whole revamping of the suit and a little bit more modernization to it. So it might have a trickle down effect where we're gonna get one suit first, second suit after that, and then that'll be the end of what we get to see there. So that might be what we get. Multiple suits, I think it's very possible. Yes, to answer your question. Now back to the image here. We have, of course, the burger sequence of the burger joint. This is the famous new Superman bulge, and I laugh at this because to me this is pretty funny. They made a big deal about this with Brandon Routh, with Henry Cavill. It seems like, and I've seen a lot of videos about this, which is why I chuckle and laugh. Is like every time they have a Superman in the costume, they focus the pictures on his package, as you can see it right there. All right, well, the thing. And the bulge of the Man of Steel has become a big deal in itself. And I see a lot of videos kind of like talk about that. Like you understand that most likely in CGI they're gonna like remove a little bit of the bulge and smooth it out so you don't see it as much. One thing I did notice that I don't like on the belt is how, as you can see, the seams that hold the belt, the red seams that are in between the belt, it looks like it's kind of like, I don't know, cheap. Even like the trunks look like like cheap boxers. Like they're like loose, and I don't know. Maybe they'll tighten that up in CGI. But by God, man, if you're doing a Superman movie and you could save money on CGI, just have the suit look correct from the beginning. If you've seen what even Zack Snyder did, which I didn't like the muted colors, at least when you look at the suit, it's skin tight. You can see the muscle mass. You can tell there was very little tweaking in the CGI afterwards because it kind of had the look already in place. And this is for me having looked at those images when they were on set. Also, the leaked images, you could tell that what he was going for was pretty much what we're going to get on film. So if this becomes something that they have to heavily CGI later, my God, that's just a waste of CGI money where it could be going to something else. This just balloons the overall budget of this movie for no reason. Just get it right the first time and move on. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is supposed to be on purpose, where he's supposed to have a cheap looking costume to then enter that second costume as I answered there earlier. Maybe that's the purpose for it. I don't know. But again, I'm not too fond of the whole baggy looking trunks. I like the trunk idea. I love the color blue and red, but I don't like the bagginess of the trunks. It just looks weird. And please, I hope people stop focusing on Superman's package. I'm pretty sure they're going to CGI that also. Now, I don't think this is actually David or the actress playing Lois. This is probably stunt doubles doubling the scene where he's going to end up playing off with her in the mall somewhere in a Superman and Lois kind of moment where they fly off. So that's what I think we're seeing on here, like a test of the footage. We're going to see that a little bit more later. This is Superman in the dirty suit, so you can tell he's already been in a little bit of action. Saving a little girl. This is probably after he's already rescued her from falling and he's placed her on the ground. Iconic, again, Superman rescue, which we didn't get enough in the previous entries with Superman, so this is cool to see. So again, props to the director for at least incorporating that into this, which I think is a good idea. David looks a little too either worried or like, I should say Superman, but Superman, his face looks like he's a little too worried or he's about to crack a smile at the little girl or something's going on because it's, he looks serious or he's about to like start laughing. So you can see the dimples going crazy there. So again, the burger joint. This is Superman shielding her, so maybe he didn't rescue her from a fall and he's like running towards her. Because remember, this is the other scene, right? And he's grabbing her, or maybe he's just finished grabbing her, and what we're seeing here is maybe the canister's exploding, and he's shielding her, and where the blue guy we saw earlier is placed, is where the canisters are gonna hit, and he's saving the girl, and the canister is hitting him, so they got the little blue guy leaning down. So they get a place where the canister is going to hit Superman later in CGI, and this is part of what they're going to use there. That I think makes more sense. If they're shooting this now, shoot the canisters with a blue stand-in figure, and then CGI everything together, and the magic happens, right? So I think that's what we're going to see there. This is what looks like Mr. Terrific or somebody playing with a dog or the crypto dog or just the random dog. I'm not too sure what's going on there. Somebody's playing with an animal. I know we have a lot of different characters in this movie, so who knows who that is. There's Superman saving the kids, which is beautiful to see. It's always a good image to put in there. Superman doing some rescuing of children. And people ask me how woke do I think this movie's going to go. I'm not sure, but I don't care the color of the kids or, whatever, race, religion. That doesn't matter to me. The fact that he's saving the kids, it's a beautiful shot. And again, we didn't get enough of that in the last several interpretations of Superman. So this is one positive that you could look at from all the images that are coming out. Next shot here, again, more shots of Superman and the kids having a good smile. See, that's very Superman-like behavior, so I really do dig that. Superman looking back after the platform landing. This is a crane over what I assume is Metropolis. And you see that thing in the very top there on the crane. Supposedly that is what hits the canisters and makes them explode. Again, Superman with a little girl. There's Superman talking to a squirrel, not a little girl, but the squirrel, and you can see the cape is missing. And you can see a lot of the things that, the cords hanging on Superman's back there. The fact the cape is missing tells you that, yeah, he's going to be hanging up on those cords for a while, doing some of the shots. Maybe he rescues the squirrel from a tree and he places it there, and it's just for a quick shot of him in the live squirrel. Instead of having a CGI, they might have a trained squirrel to just stand there. I don't know how that works. I've never trained squirrels or animals other than dogs, so, and that's never that easy. But I like the boots in this. The trunks and the belt from that angle look cool. They're kind of a throwback to the George Reeves TV show, a little bit. The way the fabric looks, if they leave it like that, from that angle, it doesn't look too bad. I still don't like the loose fitting trunks. I think they could have done better with that, but it is what it is. They're going for a more aesthetic, realistic look to the suit, I think, which again begs the difference why all the seams and all that crap they put on it. If they would have just not done that, I would have liked the suit a whole lot more, and added a little bit more like muscle mass, to the thing, because you can hardly see this guy's built like a truck, and you can't really tell. I mean, he looks awfully thin, and I saw images of him working out. David is in great shape. I mean, at one image he looked almost like Henry Cavill when he was working out with a hat going down the full blown beard, and he was like all muscled up. I was like, are we looking at Henry Cavill working out, or are we looking at David Cornsweat? I'm not really too sure. But I'm not too sold on the suit being so baggy, so I do hope they fix it up in post. But you see the cords there holding him up for the flying shot to the squirrel. He saves animals, he saves children, he saves adults. That's Superman. So I'm glad that that's probably going to be him saving the squirrel. I think that's pretty neat. This is battle-tested Superman. As you can see, he's very dirty in this shot, and he's rescuing the kids, saving the kids, right? So there you go. He's saving the children. We have, now this is where it gets really cool, guys. If you know who that is, okay? That right there is Will Reeves. Now, Will Reeves, as you can tell, looks just like Superman, right? I mean, dude looks just like his pops in certain angles. But the funny thing is, when you look, oh, let me get rid of Skype somehow loaded up here. Okay, get rid of that. Bam. I don't know how that happened, but somehow it took over my video. Why did it do that? Okay, there we go. Alright, sorry about that. But if you want to Skype me, now you know how to get to me. But that's Will Reeves right there. And what's cool about having Will Reeves is, of course, is another shot at a legacy character's being a nod used here. Of course, Christopher Reeve played Superman in '78 to, from part one to all the way to the fourth movie in the '80s. And, they did, of course, like I said, the Flash did their own kind of like nod to Chris for the CGI and stuff, which left fans bitter. I like this kind of nod better, where they have like the son of the actor, in a cameo. I think that's really cool. If you look at this guy, I mean, he put another 10 pounds, 15 pounds of muscle on him. He easily could play Clark Kent Superman. He has the look. It's amazing. It's uncanny. I don't know why it wasn't thought of. To be honest, I think they should have maybe really thought about this. But anyway, this is Will Reeves a little bit younger though, with his brother Matt Reeves and the sister, I forget her name. But this is the three kids that Chris left behind when he passed. There's three children. And Will there all the way at the far left, Matt all the way at the far right. And this is an overhead view of Will Reeves, I believe, walking to meet and greet with James Gunn. That's them meeting and greeting. Now the cameo in the movie is pretty cool. They're gonna have Will play a journalist. At least that's the report, and maybe he's reporting on something that's happening in Metropolis. Maybe you'll have more than just a walking role where he's reporting on something. Maybe they'll show him on video or something like that. It'll be a really, really funny thing if they somehow put him in the movie and people in Metropolis start thinking he is Superman, right? And then it takes some kind of like hero act for people to say, wait a second, how could Clark Kent or this reporter who was not Clark Kent, or whatever, whatever his name is in the movie, how could he be Superman while he's there and Superman is doing rescuing up there and there and there and there? Like, okay, so now we know it's not him. And I think that could be a neat way to like put him in the movie, not just having him like with the microphone reporting real quick. I think that would be kind of interesting if they went with that. James Gunn is not somebody that I would put that past by. I think he would do something like that and exploit that chance if given the chance, and it would be a good idea. It'll be kind of a way to even put Will Reeves into this universe a little bit more, which will be kind of neat. I always love when they incorporate the actors, siblings, kids, especially the actors who are from the movies that I grew up in and they've are no longer with us, like Chris Reeve. So this will be neat if William Reeve is not just in a small cameo, but maybe a little bit, more important of a role. Like I said, he's a journalist, so why not have maybe some of Metropolis thinking he is Superman until it's proven that he's not by this rescue of the actual Superman. So, just an idea there. More shots. This is a little further away shot of him shaking James Gunn's hand. They're embracing after probably shooting for the day, and he wanted to probably go over and meet James and say thank you for incorporating me in the movie. So this is them just hugging it out like bros, I guess, on the set. Now this is where we're gonna get also a little bit more interesting footage and images that have come out. This is Hawk Girl, Green Lantern, and behind Superman, David Cornswood in that first released image with a suit looking a little dirty there, a little battle tested. This, of course, is the person playing Green Lantern's Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion, I believe is his name. I'm pretty sure that's the name. I'm not familiar with the actress playing Hawk Girl, but Hawk Girl is in the movie, as you can see there. That's the comic book version. But I'm not too familiar with the work. I really haven't seen her work. So you might want to check out the IMDb on the actors and go back and look at some of the stuff they've done. This is why I can tell you that Dave Cornsword is not a bad actor. I'm just not sold on him as Superman yet. His Clark Kent's a little bit, weird looking, but it looks different enough where you could look at him and be like, yeah, I don't think that's Superman. So I mean, it could work on that sense. So we'll see. There's a Hawk Girl again, which her sword looks kind of cool with the light there on my wall. Looks like it's blending in pretty nice. And then you have Green Lantern's Guy Gardner with the interesting bowl haircut. Now keep that in mind because we're actually going to see that in a second here. The reason I want to show you this in the comic look is so you can kind of get a look at what we're going to see live and what the comic book looks in the comics. Now, this is another interpretation of what Guy Gardner looks like in the comics. Again, the hair is about accurate, but the bowl cut is now gone. It's a little bit more shaven down. Again, blonde hair. So you can tell they've gone through different takes on the character in the comics, which is typical. Hawk Girl again. Now, this is an interesting shot of all the characters from the comics. You have Batman, of course. You have, I believe that's Blue Beetle in the middle there. This is an iconic characterization of what these characters look like in the comic book, right? And we're going to see some of that in the movie. And now get ready for this, people. Remember Guy Gardner and Hot Girl, right? That's Guy Gardner, the Green Lantern, with an all-white suit and very little green. I don't know. Looks kind of weird. The hair looks a little goofy for live action, but that's Nathan Fillion who's playing Guy Gardner. Well, I don't want to like pass too much judgment, but it looks a little bit like on the goofy side, right? So we have to see exactly where they go with that. It looks a little weird, guys. So I'm saying, and I'm not too sure if I like this Guy Gardner look. This is Hot Girl and Mr. Terrific in flight. I guess this is a platform where he sits in and flies around, does his flying stunts. And Hot Girl, they're all hanging off wires and stuff. So be safe. Another shot of Superman, a blue guy standing in. And we have Guy Gardner with the white Green Lantern outfit, which I don't know whether to just go with the green outfit. I mean, this is just change for change sake, and I don't know, it doesn't always work. Looks really goofy. You see a little green there. The haircut looks really, really goofy in live action. I'm not digging the bowl cut in live action. It works for the older comics. I know that James Gunn has a real he has a love for the throwback. So this is why you're getting that look in particular. But I'm not too 100% sold on it personally. Here we have Guy Gardner again with Hot Girl. Man, those outfits look reminiscent of what we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy, right? The jackets, they don't really match the comic books too much, color scheme, but they might work in live action. But Guy Gardner just looks goofy. I don't know. I'm not digging that suit at all. I mean, it goes with what she's wearing, the colors, the white and stuff, but he's a Green Lantern. She's Hot Girl, or why is she wearing that same outfit? Why not just make her comic book accurate, right? Like, I'm sure they're gonna talk about this in the movie itself, but I don't know. It just looks weird to me. I'm not digging that. And this is like what it reminds me of. Lame DC Universe, the 1990s throwback look at some of these characters, and James Gunn getting the ultimate laugh at us, at the fan base for wanting something modern, and he's going to give us something throwback to the 90s, where the outfits look cheesy and goofy, and this is what you get now for not embracing Snyder's universe more. I found that kind of amusing and funny, but and back to the creators here. So those are the images. The rest is just stuff we've already seen there. So again, those are the images from the movie. Now, I did say I have some video that I also wanted to get to, so I'm gonna play that here. This is, and I'm gonna stop, once in a while to like talk about some of this, but this is a live video. And let's start here. This is David, of course. In one of the earlier things he's been on, look up his IMDb resume, and the resume, it's not very impressive because he's a young actor, but the stuff he's been in, he's proven that he can act. He's a good actor, so I'm not trash him as an actor. Obviously, he's put on a lot of weight since he did this performance, but You know, that's David in Cleveland, again in the black robe there. And as you can see him in walking motion with the umbrella on. We're going to see him walk a little bit more, and then it's going to like fade out, as you can see there. That's him going through live Superman motion there. And that's Mr. Terrific. But let's go back here for a second. And let's go right there. Of course, I showed this image before with him and Lois, and that's a cool image of her looking back at him with, like, you know, the rubble and stuff in the background. Great shot. The colors pop out beautifully on the suit, but up close is where, you know, the detailing is kind of really hard to get, you know, used to. But the colors at least look really good. I do think in post a lot of this is going to look a whole lot better and smoother. At least I'm hoping and praying to the comic book gods that they do fix this up in post. If not, it's going to be just an awful waste. But let's see. Let's go a little further in. Now this is him looking up, about to take flight, I assume. Maybe he's looking up at a kitty or a squirrel about to rescue them. I don't know. But, or maybe he's talking to the animal. Who knows? I think this might be Miss Tess Marker waving goodbye there. I'm not sure, but definitely somebody on set there. Then walking around Miss Terrific, playing with somebody. And let's go back here a little bit. I don't know who he's playing with, but he's doing something playing. Look at him there. Bam! Right? Like feeding something, like maybe squirrels. I don't know. I mean, he's a terrific guy, right? So he's doing some terrific action here. Who knows what the hell he's doing? There's a dog there again, and bam, throwing food in the sky. Maybe he's feeding pigeons. Who the hell knows? Throwing food, and he's lifting something there. So you see those giant fans there, they're cooling everybody off because it's Ohio and it's, I'm sure, very, very hot. This is why I think that black robe is more to like shield them from the sun, even though it's black and it looks a little weird that it's blocking, you know, the heat. But maybe that's what it's for. Or who knows, you know? Maybe it's some kind of a thing they're doing to keep them, you know, not too warm and able to continue without being overly. Even though I haven't seen him like sweat through the suit, so I don't know. Maybe that's some new material they use where you don't see him sweat a lot, which is interesting in itself because I do know it gets kind of warm in Ohio at this time. So, and the fans are there for that reason. It's not because it's cold; it's because it's probably very warm. So, there's Mr. Terrific walking around. Again, this is Superman holding what looks like a door from, again, it could be a helicopter door, it could be a plane door, it could be anything that's just falling and they're trying to get a shot of him like holding it up. I do think they're obviously going to CGI out the two people on the sides here, including the poles that are extending. So don't worry about that. That won't be in the shot. I'm pretty positive of that. It might be actually a much closer shot than we think. We're just, again, looking at this as, again, fan footage, right? Not official shots, but fan footage. So, people walking up to him. He's petting the dog, which is always cute. See, there he goes. This is why I am 100% positive that the black robe has something to do with Bizarro or the black Superman suit or anything like that. Will they show eventually him in the black Superman suit? Maybe, maybe not. I think it might be a little too early for that in this movie. Maybe if it gets a sequel, you might see that suit. I don't see a need for it here. If you're telling a certain story, might not be really important to this particular story here. So there's a good possibility where we won't see the actual black Superman suit in this film. Again, we might see it in a future film, so keep that in mind also. So don't get mad at it if you leave the theater and you didn't get your black suit. And you're like, we didn't get the black suit. I'm mad. I got to make 356 videos about this on YouTube. Don't get angry. Again, petting what could be crypto or some random dog. Either way, cute moment on set. And this is interesting. This is Mr. Terrific once again. People just looking out there, but there's Superman looking up at probably some stunt that's going on, and from that angle, I mean, it looks like comic book face Superman from that angle, but it's not in the actual movie. So, again, I'm looking forward to the trailer to see what it looks like all put together with CGI and everything. But the face looks alright in that angle. Some angles he doesn't look as comic booky Superman, some he does. So again, Mr. Terrific running away. And let's put that back in live motion. There he goes, walking with the umbrella. This is a cool stunt there that he's falling down to the mat. See, this is why I think that there's no wires or anything. It's just him like, bam, doing a Superman thing. Right? I think there's him jumping, to which they're gonna like later add a person in CGI post of them grabbing and laying him down. Puts him down to the ground. Stops, looks back at the person, which is going to be added in the CGI. Probably a little girl or I don't know, somebody, but that's what I think that is. And then this is him again. After that, looking up, and blasting off into the sky for the next rescue. This is again over the burger joint here. The explosion of the canisters. And that's it. Goes right back to the beginning there. So that's the little montage on video. This is interesting. Again, based on what we saw there, there's a lot to take in, I know. But, it is kind of interesting to see, it all come together. But I'm not going to hold my judgment too long. I'm going to wait and see what happens with the final product. And I am anticipating the trailer to drop sometime at the end of the year. It'll be interesting if they do it like in November, December, around there. I think that'll be an appropriate time for them to drop the trailer. For like maybe the holidays and Christmas or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Too soon, like if they drop something now, I think we'll kind of miss the mark. The set images that are allowed to be posted online here, like these leaks, believe me, I don't think any of this stuff is by coincidence. I do think this is, orchestrated by Warner Brothers, and they're allowing this stuff to go on online. And it's cool. The fans were going to enjoy it. And with that said, that's all the images and footage I have, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully, as time goes on, I'll get more and more participating here. I want to thank Lex Ayers for jumping in that question earlier in the chat. Everybody who checked out the video here. And before I go, again, please leave your comments in the section below. Subscribe to my channel. That's very important. Leave a comment. Subscribe. Hit the notification button so you know where I'm live again. And most important, check out my work over on angelespino.com and my Patreon page, patreon.com/Angel Espino. Please hit that up. Become an angel investor. Everything helps. And we can keep the ball rolling. Till next time, everybody, keep looking up to the skies. It's a bird, it's a plane. No, we might have more videos of on-set leaked footage of Superman 2025. Till next time, take care, everybody, and have peace on earth for us all.